Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday coffee time. I am back in my own surroundings and I am so nervous. Eric is not here. We tried to do a little connecting with him, but he is out. Gosh, Eric, I know you're on the chat. I don't know. He's either in Idaho or Iowa at the moment. Either way, he's going to both places. I'm just not sure which place he was going to first. His service out there is a little bit crazy, so he's not able to join us with our little interview that we were going to do, but he's here on the chat. So don't worry, you're not going to miss Eric. He's going to be here and be a part of it. So kind of flying solo a little bit, so bear with me. I have to do things like, for instance, I have to do this. Hold on. I have to do this. Eric will be so proud. To run the ticker, he always clicks the buttons sometimes while I'm just talking. And so he's in Idaho, Iowa later. Yes. Good morning, honey. So we just, we've had a lot going on. So the first thing I need to do is I need to do some coffee mugs, because I feel like I should just ration these out and show all of these probably over the next 3 months worth of coffee times for all the mugs that we've been receiving from you guys, some that we've purchased ourselves. But I just want you to know I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And we're going to talk about one of these things in our What's Brewing. But yeah, real quick. So Eric is actually traveling. He is in, where did he say he was? I forgot already. He's in Idaho now and then going to Iowa. So pre-real estate, Eric actually did healthcare training, customer service training for healthcare organizations, so large hospitals, large medical groups, and he would travel the country and sometimes outside of the country doing these presentations and these workshops. And he actually is still on a speakers bureau. So if any of you watching, need Eric to come and give your group or your organization some customer service training, he is phenomenal at it, as I'm sure you can imagine, which is why he's a very experienced sidekick in the real estate industry with me. But he actually does have real skills outside of this. So he has 2 of them back to back. So he's out doing what is kind of the norm for him pre-real estate, shall we say. So he just left yesterday. He'll be back in a few days, leaving me to go solo. So yes, I will do fine, but just in case, just know now I love you. It's been a great show. See you later. Okay, good. So let's get going. So I'm going to tell you a couple of things. So first of all, a couple mugs. This is just the one I grabbed this morning because I had to get up extra early because I had to make sure that I was showered and dressed and ready in time to go through everything. So we were at JMU, go Dukes, over the past couple days, which we'll talk about. So this is my new mug. There's the Virginia logo, JMU on this side. So as a lefty, I appreciate it. So this is my mug today that has my coffee in it. There's some coffee. You can see it's real. Some coffee in it, but full disclosure, baby, I got the high test backup over here. So let me go over a couple of mugs. So if you look over here, I have so many. And these are all but one are gifts from, well, actually, they're all gifts from you guys. So we'll go through this one first. So this was both of my daughters and both of my son-in-laws did a lovely little kind of getaway. My youngest daughter and her husband celebrated their first anniversary early July. And so my other daughter and son-in-law scheduled they planned a little trip. So they went out to Clearwater Beach. So just a little getaway, which is one of the really lovely things about Florida, guys, is that when you live here, you can do that. So they went like an hour and a half away and they had a lovely weekend kind of escaping home and the stresses of where we are right here in your day-to-day life. But they just went, a few hours or an hour and a half away. They went to a Mariners Museum, I think, or what was it? The aquarium. Sorry, the aquarium. Which, by the way, I have a beautiful bracelet here. So we're supporting. I think all the proceeds from that gift shop goes to taking care of them. So that I'm actually going to fill this later. Don't you worry, guys. I want to mention these 2 because this comes from John and Terry. They closed on their home. They were part of our congratulations last week or maybe the week before. Oh my gosh, time flies. But this is really cute. I can't, oh, I probably shouldn't have said who they were. Anyway, so they gave us mugs from their former employers. So one of them was a Marine. So we got this a lovely mug where it says United States Marine Corps. So that was funny because they said from their former employer. And then I also have, I don't know how I got this one. This one is from the CIA. I'm going to put that one away because I don't want to harp on that one too much. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I also want to go over these we got at our last week's coffee time. So we had these from Kathleen and Chris. Adorable. I love this one. Look at this. You're on mute. Like I needed to actually use that one this morning because chances are I'm on mute right now and I'm just talking and nobody knows. And then we also they gave this one to Eric, which is I Need My Space. This is from NASA over at the Space Coast. Again, guys, things you can do when you live here that's totally cool. That's not just about Florida palm trees and beaches. There's so many other things to do. And so being able to drive again, just a couple hours over to the Space Coast and enjoy some launches and see a whole different element of what Florida has to offer. So let me move on. And then finally, Gary, one of our, in fact, I don't know, Gary, are you here this morning? Gary made these for us. These are, one's for me and one is for Eric. And it's really cute because mine, if you see, there's like a hidden Pooh Bear and Eric's has a hidden Barney Rubble, but it's Gator Water. So really, really adorable. So many cute things. You guys are just the sweetest. And on that note, I guess I should probably explain a little bit about why some of these things, why we got this large grouping behind me. So we're going to get going into what's brewing because then it'll all kind of make sense, I think. So let me find my button. Found it. Okay, so far so good, guys. Okay, so this is part of our what's brewing topic. So first of all, on location. So last week we were at Filigree Coffee. We were live out in the community, and it was an absolute blast. I was amazed. When we plan to do these, and we plan to do them more often, when we try to go out and about into the community, we were at Filigree Coffee, which is in Home State Brewing here in the Hamlin area, in Winter Garden in the Horizon West area. So nice. So nice. What a great spot. But they were so generous and gracious to have us out there. And, we really just thought it would just be us. And that was, that's kind of what we thought. We just kind of wanted to be out and about and kind of feature some of the local businesses and kind of get out in the community for the coffee time. And of course, it's open to people coming. Of course it is. But we just didn't think anybody would come. And we have a long list of people that came. And guys, I have to tell you, like after it was over, it was like, I was like, just my heart was so full. You guys are so incredibly kind and generous. To come on a Monday morning, to drive, whether it was 5 minutes away or 50 minutes away or even further for some of you, that you drove out there to be a part of it. This was what, we were kind of promoting the whole time. And, we have pictures and we have video from when we were there. But again, you're going to have to excuse us for kind of putting together this coffee time a little bit faster. Eric does so much, a tremendous amount of work for coffee time and does all the graphics and all of those things. And sometimes we're just out of time, out of energy. And so in that case, we don't have any actual photos of us there, but it was so nice. So again, for all of you that were there, you signed in, you got your free cup of coffee. Some of you brought your neighbors. Thank you, Marcia, for bringing a neighbor. Friends, so many past clients. I didn't get a chance to even say hi to everybody that was there, but again, that was really fun. Let me know if you think you would come again, because again, our true intent was just for us to kind of be out in the community at a location so you don't have to see the same backdrop every day. But honestly, it was so stinking fun. I can't stand it. So thank you for you guys coming. It just made it memorable, and it just made my heart so incredibly full. So thank you for that. But on to our next what's brewing. So go Duke. So this is oh boy. So we had so Monday of last week we did the Filigree the Coffee Time Live, and then on Tuesday we left to go to JMU out in Harrisonburg, Virginia. It was my son's college orientation. It was supposed to have been, I think, the week or 2 weeks prior to that, but then there were some changes with majors, and a lot of people, when I've been telling clients that we're doing college orientation, they're like, already? And I agree. It seems like it's early, but the reality is James Madison University has an outstanding like orientation process and procedure. And I know lots of colleges and universities also have great thought into that. But so much so that when we kind of changed majors, it then changed the orientation dates. So we were gone. We left on Tuesday orientation, which by the way, Tuesday was the 4th of July. So I don't even remember 4th of July. I don't know what y'all did. Hope you had fun. We were flying. So 4th of July, but the 5th was the orientation. It was absolutely beautiful. And if you have not been to Virginia, you have to go. If you've not been to that area, to like Charlottesville and UVA, and then you keep going 45 minutes down the road, and then you hit Harrisonburg, the Blue Ridge Mountains. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful, and the campus is gorgeous. Eric went to JMU, so so he's certainly happy. My daughter Alyssa and her husband Hong met at JMU, so they both attended, and so our youngest now going there is it's really fun. They've got the new dining hall that was, I think, down for the last couple of years that Alyssa and Hong were there. Now it's up and it's amazing, and just the buildings are beautiful. There's so much history around there, and I think that's one of the things excuse me, I feel the most whenever I go back to Virginia to visit family or friends or to do the college tours or whatever the case is. There's just so much actual history, like true history there. So it's always kind of, those moments where you're like, man, the world does not exist only when we live in it. And so when you're in those places that are just so rich with so much deep history of our country, it's kind of amazing. It's breathtaking, actually. So anyway, so that was fun. So that's where we were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. And then we came back and then we're playing catch up. But then Eric had to turn around and leave. So again, point is, apologies if any of the pictures and things are not where they should be. I am going to do my best. So the final thing for our What's Brewing topics is the listing. So okay, so when people talk about what time is a good time to, okay, I can do this, to buy or to sell, let me just tell you that right now, me alone, I have a lot of listings that are coming up, and it's a lot at one time. So when people are looking to move here, I understand it's July. What is the day? July 10th. So it's July 10th. Well, our schools start in about a month, right? Our academic schools, public schools start in about a month. So there's a lot of people that are still out looking for homes. And now there's, at least in my case, there's quite a few that are coming on the market. We have a few in the 55 plus communities, so they probably don't care so much about the school starting up. But like I said last week, that kind of starts the 55 plus season of buying. It usually starts, fall time. So they're starting to kind of get out there. So we have some of those. We've got some beautiful listings. We're going to talk about that when we get to our listing segment, but lots of stuff happening is my point. So if you're looking to move here in the area, we have townhomes coming on the market. We have bungalows coming on the market. We have big, beautiful, massive 2-story homes coming on the market. We have some 55 plus community homes coming on the market. And I say plural for all of them because there are truly multiple of all of those. So no matter what you're looking for, give me a call and let me know. And if it's not one of my listings, of course, that's okay. We can still help you find the right home. So it's very busy, so much so that before we left, guys, I have to do the Diet Coke. I'm sorry. So before we left to go out of town, we had to go get, oh gosh, Eric, I don't remember. We get like 8 more lock boxes, and we already have a bunch of lock boxes, but we had to get some new ones just because we knew we had all these listings coming up. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody, had a lock box, that I didn't run short on them. So anyway, so a lot has been happening here on our end. So even though we didn't get to enjoy the 4th of July, I do hope that you guys had a wonderful time. I don't know what your feelings are on fireworks. I can tell you that we weren't here, so we didn't get to hear them, which was actually good because it stresses our dogs out tremendously. It's absolutely not enjoyable for us. Unless you're at Disney, unless you're at a place where it's a fireworks show, fantastic. When it's in your backyard because your neighbors are shooting them off, I'm not a big fan of that, but I'll keep my mouth quiet because 4th of July is over. So anyway, all right, so let me get to a couple questions because I actually saw one a minute ago and I want to go back to that. So just as a reminder, if you do have questions, if you put a Q in front of it, that will really help me. I can say it, capital Q and a colon will really help, because then I can search them. But if you didn't, that's okay. We'll find them. But this is the one I wanted to get to. Hello, I've been looking at homes in the area and have noticed Davenport is much more affordable than Winter Garden or Claremont. Any negative reasons why? So that's a really good question. So as always, I tell you that sorry, my phone dinged. I gotta okay. Is that everything is relative to the area and the desirability of it, and the desirability of it is going to be subjective. So in some cases, the desirability is you want to be out in the country, you want to be more rural. In some places, the desirability is going to be that you're close to the theme parks and Disney and those attractions, and pretty much anything in between and all around. So the desirability, I always say, when we say location, well, my location desirability may not be the person sitting next to me. So it is true, but it's really the generality of, okay, well, places that are closest to things like Disney are going to be more desirable and more expensive. But in answer to your question, so Davenport has it, by the way, Davenport is lovely, and not everything in Davenport is short-term rental, but there are a lot of short-term rental investment property type, Airbnb type of a concept there. So again, that's not saying that every community is a short-term rental location, but there are quite a few. And even if your community is not, in some cases you have to check, because the community right across the street or down the road could be short-term rental. So it really just depends on what it is that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a primary residence, it just depends. If you've been to Davenport, if you're just looking at numbers, I can see where the confusion is. When you drive to places, sometimes you can see, oh, okay, I get it, it's a little bit more rural, or oh, okay, I get it, it's a little bit more touristy, or oh, I get it, it's a little bit more like it's just investment properties and everything looks exactly the same. And so it really is a matter of what you determine to be the most desirable. But Winter Garden is super expensive. It's super expensive. It's Orange County. Again, remember, ethically, as a realtor, I cannot steer you to or from any area or location, but just based on some of these generalities. So, schools tend to be something where people, that's going to affect pricing. Like I said, a 55 plus community, it doesn't really matter what schools they're zoned for, because chances are you don't have anybody in school there. But if you go back to the conversation like we just talked about, like in Davenport, and Kissimmee is the same way, that so many of the communities may be short-term rental that the actual schools, the zoning, you're kind of getting, you're not getting a full community's worth of pure primary residence families, if that makes sense. So you get vacationers when the schools don't matter, and therefore sometimes the schools can suffer because it's not the same type of a thing. So I've got lots more information for you. So if you want to text me or call me, by the way, that's a good time for me to do this. Hold on, I'm learning. Eric, you're gonna be so proud of me. Oh, where is it? Here it is. If you want to text me at 407-848-8042, you can do that. You can call me or text me, and then we will. I'm going to turn this off, and then I can give you some more information specific. We can set you up on property searches, and you can see. But you are correct. In generalities, Davenport is going to be less expensive than Claremont, and in many cases, like Claremont is going to be slightly less expensive than Winter Garden. So it's kind of that whole full circle. So anyway, hopefully that helped answer the question a little bit. Okay, so let me go back to, where was I? There was a question that we had. Okay, so I see Eric has been asking them. So Rob asked about firearm laws in Virginia, as in buying and carrying. I believe Eric, vehicle laws in Florida is registering driver license and stuff. So Rob, those are really good questions too. So, I mean, honestly, the firearms, I'm not even going to get into that because I'm not going to share my thoughts on that. But vehicle laws, as in registration, driver's licensing, and things like that. So it actually, I have to tell you, just the concept of getting your driver's license here in this area. So first of all, getting a driver's license, like for my kids, for the two of my 4 kids who got their driver's license originally here in Florida, I will tell you, there's not a lot that you have to do to get your driver's license here. Not like it was when my older 2 got their licenses in Virginia. Certainly not the way it was when I got my license in Virginia. I mean, so a new licensed person, certainly there is process and procedure, and certainly there are exams that you have to take, and you do have to do the behind the wheel test for them. But as far as what I recall having to do when I was in 10th grade, I guess it was, to originally get my license, like the whole first semester of our school, our sophomore year, was all book related driving, like driver's ed. And then you did behind the wheel for a period of time, multiple hours. You had to be signed off on that. And then you were eligible to go take the actual behind the wheel test, or the driving test at the DMV. Here, it's a lot easier, which is not a great thing. Now, in relation to just kind of like changing over your driver's license, things like that, that's pretty easy. That's definitely on everybody's list of things that they need to do once they move here. I will tell you, at least where we are, and I actually heard that in other areas this is not necessarily true, but in our area, I find the DMV to be very efficient, guys. I know. You're like, she has lost her marbles. I haven't, because our DMV, at least again here in this area, is actually at like the tax office, at the county tax office, and actually there is a DMV in a mall that's also that's in a COE. But I have found things to be very, very, very efficient. So you can schedule your time online. You go there, you check in. They have all the screens. Your number comes up. You go in, and they have like just so many windows. Honestly, I find that it's very, very, very interesting. Okay, so Eric has a question, and he says, "Can I ask you something?" And my answer to that is no. You're not going to catch me. Eric and I have a running joke. I'm not even going to share it with you, but he thought he was going to catch me, and he's not. So Eric says, he does say, from Curtis, what 55 plus communities are there near Disney? So good question. So let's go over some of those 55 plus communities. So first of all, the newest, kind of latest and greatest, also super pricey, is Del Webb Oasis. And if you are interested in that one, Curtis, I definitely encourage you to text me or call me 407-848-8042 once we're done, because I have some inside scoop and some great opportunities that are coming up in Del Webb Oasis. This is a new community, and those first homeowners, the first people who contracted, are now closing. So there's a handful or two handfuls of people that live there already, including some clients of mine who were among that first batch to contract to contract there. But that is a really nice community. However, you need to essentially plan on it price point wise. Unless you're doing a villa, you need to expect to be in the 750 to $1 million, slightly above range in that particular community. There's also Del Webb in Davenport, which is still relatively close to Disney. That community has long been closed out, but it's a lovely community. There's also going to be a Del Webb Mineola, just while we're shooting off the Del Webb ones. There's going to be a Del Webb Mineola, a little bit further from Disney, but still 30 minutes. So depending on what your idea of close to is, that's a good one. There's a lot of Claremont ones. There's Heritage Hills. There's Summit Greens. There's Kings Ridge. There's all these different, again, existing 55 plus communities. But another new one, well, not new, it's kind of towards the end, I guess, is Four Seasons, which is in Kissimmee. And it is actually very close to Disney as well. Like, it's a great location. It's built around a golf course. And I have heard that Hilton has purchased the golf course and is revamping everything. I believe that's the right hotel company. But that community is called Four Seasons, and that's a Kay-Hovnanian community. So lots of 55 plus communities out and about and around Disney. So Curtis, give me a call and we'll chat more about each of them specifically and kind of go over what maybe their options are and see if any of those are anything that pique your interest. But anyway, so let me go back to, okay, so let's see if there's any other ones. Yeah, so don't forget, if you've got questions, to put that Q in front of it. That'd be fabulous. Okay, so let me go on to wishes, because we have a couple of wishes and things I want to mention for this little segment. Okay, so all right, so we had a lot of closings at the end of June, right? I know we're at July 10th now, but again, if you throw in that 4th of July weekend and that we were gone, We had a lot of closings that last week in June because it was the end of the quarter and it was the end of the month. So like that 29th and 30th of June was jam packed. Now we have a few, excuse me, that'll be closing in the next week or two. So we're going to put those up here. But we did want to mention, so whenever, okay, so I don't get this. So Eric goes out, when he goes out to like Walmart or whatever, people always know him. He comes back to the house. He's like, hey, honey, we're famous. And I laugh because obviously he's just joking. But every time he goes out, people have recognized him and stop him and they talk or whatever. Does not happen really when I'm out. So I get it. I get it. I get it. You know, everyone recognizes Eric, which is, by the way, totally fine with me. But when he was out there, and I don't know if I'm going to get this story right, so I apologize, but Gus, Lydia, Loriana, and Andrew, I apologize if I pronounced it wrong. But they were, and actually, Eric, I'm not sure who it was, but one of them was there, and then she was FaceTiming the husband, and then sent a picture. They are actually building a home out here in the Horizon West area, and I don't want to say what community just because I want to be respectful. These are not my clients, by the way. They're just people that happen to watch us, and for whatever purpose we were assisting through the process, even it was just by videos and unknown to us. We just want to thank you guys for watching. So congratulations to you guys, because it looks like you're, you know, you've got some activity happening on your home and in your community. By the way, like true story, I have a pre-drywall walkthrough with some clients today at 12:30 in your community for some clients that will be your neighbors. So, so thank you guys for watching. We appreciate that so much. I know Eric really does get tickled when he goes out. Tickled. How old am I? That's my grandmother's word. Get tickled. Anyway, it's very fun, and it's kind of a little burst of validation that you know, we do so much, but we don't know who's paying attention, except our little diehards here in our little coffee time. Anyway, so thank you guys for coming. And then there's another one too, and I am going to blow it because I can't remember the name. Hold on, where is it? So hello, Horizon West. By the way, and Eric, will you please text me the name, please, 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 so that I can do that. Hello, Horizon West. So, by the way, if you are interested in this area, you need to subscribe to Hello Horizon West, their Instagram. They have so many good tips and out and about in the area and in the community. And it is, it's just really, really, really nice. They, you know, we follow them. They follow us. They chime in every once in a while, but it's a great source of information, just from a person's perspective who lives here. And I think my husband asked her, he said, hey, what, you know, what is it that you do, or why do you do it? And it's really just, it's just to share the information. So, so we really appreciate that. Okay. So Eric says, yes, that's Yasi, and she is the best. So yes, I apologize, Yasi. The name I knew yesterday, I should have written it down in front of me, but I did not. So anyway, but yes, and back to the other picture too, by the way, where was that one? He said it was, where is it? Lydia was there, and Gus was on FaceTime, for the family that happened to run into Eric. I think it was at Walmart, but at any rate, so as always, we appreciate you guys watching. And you know, this happens a lot, by the way, where so many people are like, oh, we wish we'd have found you before we contracted. We didn't know. And, you know, and however it is that they found us, right? Sometimes it's that they've contracted and then they're searching YouTube for maybe a video of the floor plan or something. And then they find me and then they're like, oh, darn it. But I am here to tell you, it is really, really important. If you can, any of you watching or any of you that have friends, or if it's ever in a conversation with you randomly, whether it's me or you live in a different state and so it can't be me, it's another realtor, it is really important to have that conversation with somebody and to get a realtor at the beginning of the process, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if you're buying resale, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, but so many people don't understand the aspect of new construction, what all that involves, some of the pitfalls, some of the challenges, but some of the excitement and the things that you need to pay attention to. And it's because it is a long process, it really is nice to have somebody there. Speaking of that, for those of you that happen to be my clients, we're going to be out soon taking pictures again because of the 4th of July, because of us going out of town, because of Eric being gone right now. please forgive us. We'll get your Flickr photos here ASAP. Anyway, so lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fun information on the Hello Horizon West. So again, if you haven't already, find her little Instagram and have at it, because that'll be fun. All right, let's move on to, what do I want to move on to? Let's do, you know what? Let's do listings, because this will be fun. Okay, so we have quite a few listings, as we kind of teased at the beginning. This one, as you know, we give all of our listings names. This is going to be called Summer Seasons. This is in the Four Seasons 55 plus community. So, Curtis, if you're still watching, here's one. So this is a beautiful home, just a few years old, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. This one actually backs up to the golf course. Really beautiful. Again, this is 55 plus. It is guard gated. It is in the I won't say it's closing out, but it is definitely in the final stages of development within the community. Kay Hovnanian is the builder. Beautiful home, beautiful floor plan. Huge island in this home. Oh my gosh, it's huge. She's got 6 chairs around it. This actually went active yesterday, so we can officially talk about it. We can officially advertise it. So if you were interested, this is a great deal at $512,500. So $512,500. Again, 55 plus communities. If you're not familiar with 55 plus, so first of all of your lawn maintenance is included. The amenities are off the chart. Like, we're not talking just a pool. We're talking the pool and the fitness center and the classrooms for dance classes or for exercise classes. You've got like full service kitchens. They've got ballrooms. They have cooking classes. They have craft classes. There's card room. I mean, literally, you name it. There's pickleball. There's pools. There's multiple pools here in this community. One of the unique things that I like about the Four Seasons community is that, they were thinking about, just because there's a restriction in the age demographic, right, that you have to be 55 or better to live in the community, doesn't mean, I mean, I'm 55, right? I don't have any grandkids yet. But when I do, if I lived in a 55 plus community, I certainly wouldn't want there to be a restriction on my kids and my grandchildren being able to come and visit or stay or hang out with us or do a pool day. So in this particular community, they have a secondary pool. One is for the residents there, and then there's another pool that's adjacent to it, off to the side a little bit, and that's for the family. So if you do have grandkids visiting you that don't fit that 55 plus demographic, they can still have fun. They can still have a pool day. They're just going to have them be in another pool where they can splash around and be a little bit louder and have their fun without disrupting the residents who purchased there for a specific reason, which was to, be in a 55 plus community with like aged, people. So that's a really unique feature about that. Not all 55 plus communities have dual pools. And I think that's a really smart thing. And they were definitely thinking about the lifestyle, and that, it shouldn't be completely restricted if you want to have, kids or grandkids coming. So anyway, so that one is on the market. And we also have this one that's going active tomorrow, so I can officially talk about it. So this is a beautiful home. So now we're talking a different area. So first of all, Four Seasons, the Summer Seasons we just talked about, is in Kissimmee, very, very close to Disney. So if you want 55 plus, I will tell you, a lot of people in that community use it as their second or vacation home. You can't rent it out like a short-term rental. It's not that, but they'll like live somewhere else and they'll come use that as their vacation home. This one is in St. Cloud. So for those of you that are like, yeah, Amy, she does a lot in Winter Garden. Well, no, I don't. I do it everywhere. But this is St. Cloud. So St. Cloud, from where we live here in Horizon West, is probably about a 40 to 45 minute drive, still super close to Disney. These are clients of mine. These are repeat clients. I helped them with their first home, then we sold their first home, and then we helped them buy this home, and now they're selling this home. So this is a beautiful, large home. This has got a lot of square footage in it. You can see it's got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's a huge loft. It's a fenced-in yard, corner home site, priced at $559,990. Honestly, it is absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking for something and you're like, I just want to be just a step away, I don't really want to be in the Winter Garden area, I do like St. Cloud. There you go. It's in a community called Wiregrass, which is a Landsea. There's Landsea out there, but there's also Dreamfinders, and this is actually a Dreamfinders home. So really, really beautiful. So we have both the St. Cloud Sanctuary is what we're calling it, and then we have the Summer Seasons are both active. now, or this one, again, the one in St. Cloud will be active tomorrow. We do have a couple more that are coming up. We have a townhome coming up in Horizon West. We have another 55 plus one coming up. And we have another big home in Windermere coming up. So there's a lot coming up. So stay tuned for the other listings. But if any of these are like piquing your interest, then just give me that call at 407-848-8042. All right. So let's keep going. Let's see if there's any more. And I apologize. I'm getting some text messages. And I will respond to all of those momentarily once we finish up this. By the way, like life story, I have to take our cat to the vet today. Like she is not doing well. So if any of you have seen Molly, I don't even know where she is. She's our sweet little, she's our ragdoll cat. And she is not doing well. We don't know what's going on. We thought maybe she ate a lizard because, you know, cats eat lizards and she does go out into that pool area a lot. But she's actually not eating and she's lost a lot of weight and she's moving kind of slow. And so we're like, okay, you know what? We need to get her to the vet and see what's going on. Okay, so this is a good question. Let's look at this one. Enchanted Nomads. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. As a realtor, do you prefer working with resale or new construction? I know there's just so much new construction in the area, but was curious if you have a preference. That's a really good question. Gosh, I don't know. I honestly, I love them both for so many different reasons. I like new construction because I like people. And I think that in new construction, the process takes a little bit longer and it gives you more opportunity to form that relationship with your clients. And so guiding them through what I found to be so daunting when we first moved here, and I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know a lot. And I think that's why I'm just constantly spitting out and spewing out information, because I felt I was at such a loss when we moved here. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with my realtor. My realtor was fine, but there was just a lot of information I felt I could have been guided on a little bit better, or I could have done the research myself, I guess. But again, you don't know what you don't know, right? So I like new construction and the fact that I like to give people the advice and the hints and the tips and the tricks that I wish I had known. So I like that. Plus, it gives me a longer time to kind of get to know them and to form that relationship with them because I love people. Now, on the other side, resale is fun too, because then, you know, then it's kind of fun where you get to go out and view some of the homes and you start to learn about, oh, well, they like this about this house and they like that about that house. So then it kind of gets my brain working where it's like, okay, well, let's take all these different puzzle pieces and let's mesh it together and find the perfect resale home. So, you know, I like both of them. Honestly, it's the people that I like the most. So whichever house they choose to purchase, whatever route they choose to go, whether it's resale or whether it's new construction, I have just as much fun. And by the way, not all new construction is still a long journey, because, you know, you can ask Shelly Husky if she's on here today. They did new construction, but boom, within 3 weeks, they were closed on it because it was a completed inventory. So it still was a quicker process, but you know, anyway, so hopefully that answered your question. That's a really good one. I like that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, let me see. Kim, I'm guessing you're talking about my kitty, right? Could be diabetes. I know. I don't know what it is. Like I said, we just, okay, we have those lizards here, right? And I'm just going to say, you know, Molly loves to go out into that pool area and it's beautiful. It's all screened in. You've seen it, right? We've shown you pictures of it. And so she'll go out there, and even though it's screened in, I mean, obviously some little critters and little lizards and things can come in. So we thought maybe she just got one, because we definitely have seen her attack them before. So we just thought that was like something that made her sick and she wasn't eating and she just needed a while for all of that to feel better. But it's just too much time has passed and now it's concerning. So hoping that we can get an answer today. Enchanted Nomads, great answer, makes sense. Yeah, thank you. That was actually a really, really good question and not one that we've had before. So thank you for that. Feel free to ask any more questions you want. Okay, let's move on. Let me go on to something else. Don't forget, if you've got questions, go ahead and throw them in there. But let's do a Allie's Knows Nothing, but I have to come over here because my husband's going to be very proud of me because I don't have a button for this. So I'm just saying, I'm savvy. I know what I'm doing now, I think. Cross your fingers, I'm doing this right.
How long does it typically take to close on a home?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So, and this is going to vary from where you live around the country. So again, when I'm talking about here where we live, my experiences in our little neck of the woods. So generally speaking, let's just say it's a completed home. Let's go back to a resale home, right? So you find a home, we contract on it. It is usually about 30 days, 1 month from contract to close. So if you contracted July 1st, you're probably going to put a closing date of August 1st, right? And that's about how long it takes for the title company to get everything that they need to do behind the scenes. And that's about how long it takes for the lender to get their paperwork together and get you cleared to close for the loan aspect of it as well. However, if you are a cash buyer, those can be done much, much, much faster. So probably in 2 to 3 weeks. 2 weeks can be done. I've had clients close in 2 weeks before, but usually 2 to 3 weeks is a good time frame for cash buyers. The background work still has to be done. The title searches, the estoppel, the lien searches, all of that still has to happen behind the scenes for the purchase of the property. But what doesn't have to happen is all of the loan documents and the underwriting and all of that stuff. So because it's cash, that part of it is easy breezy, super fast. But you still have to do the actual transactional aspect of it, the legal aspects of changing the property and transferring it from one entity to another. So that still has to happen. So in answer to your question, Allie, about 30 days on average. If you are purchasing a resale home and you need 45 days, like a month and a half or 2 months, it's not out of the ordinary to do that, but usually 30 months is what people do. 45 is also kind of okay, but really anything beyond that, you want to have the conversation with the seller as to, is that something that they would be agreeable to? Because, 2 months is a long time because, a lot of things can happen during that amount of time. So usually 30 days, cash, 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, let me see. Back to Enchanted Nomads. Do you have a vet in the area that you recommend? So yes, actually. So we have used West Orange Veterinary Hospital. They have several locations. They had one where we used to live up at Stony Brook. They now have a Hamlin location. So that's actually where we go. That's where all of our pets have gone. I mean, a little pricey. I'm going to be honest. It seems like it's, like sometimes you can go to dentists and you're like, okay, well that was great. And then sometimes you go to a dentist, you're like, seriously? It's like, it's kind of like when we had to go take my son to the ER, like, what was that, a few weeks ago when he dropped the cereal bowl and cut his wrist and we had to go get 4 stitches. It's $2,000. I have the bill right over here, $2,000. Anyway, so but when you go to the vet, sometimes you can feel the same way. You're like, oh my gosh, it's like every little thing, and it's expensive. But there is also a mobile vet called Dr. Danita, and I got her information from a dear friend of mine, Dr. Adam Chrisman, who is a veterinarian, lives in New Jersey. Big Disney fan. Also a big dachshund fan. He has lots of dachshunds, and they just welcomed their newest puppy. Oh my gosh, and I'm going to forget his name. Anyway, but lots of dachshunds. He has been here. We've done videos with him. Love him dearly. He's my adopted brother. We just have decided we're just going to be family, even though there's no blood relation at all. But oftentimes I will send him a message and say, I know you're not my vet, but can you just advise me on where I should go or what I should do? And he's actually the one that told me about Dr. Danita, and it is a mobile vet. We did have her come out here to our house because our dog Penny is absolutely, like, we don't know what is wrong with her. She is the most emotionally needy dog lately. I don't know what's going on. She doesn't want to go outside to go potty. So something must have scared her or spooked her at some point in time. But anyway, so we had Dr. Danita come here because we felt like having a dog that has that anxiety going to the vet unsuccessfully time and time again, that maybe having the vet come to us was going to be a great alternative. So Dr. Danita, I can send you that information if you're interested. But for today, I'm just taking Molly over to the vet because I just kind of have to. I don't have time to figure out, that was just easier for me. But anyway, hopefully that answered your question. All right, let's see. Where am I? Let's go. Any more questions? All right, I have to go back to do this real fast. So did you guys all have a good 4th? Ben, our eventual home in Horizon West will be a second home, keeping our primary in New Jersey. Is it advantageous to change to a Florida driver's license? I mean, if it's not your primary residence, I don't know why you would need to. I can't think of anything I mean, you can't homestead the property. And if you were homesteading the property, that's when you would need to have that Florida driver's license and other things to kind of prove that this is your primary residence. So I don't know that really, if you're not doing the homestead exemption because you can't, because it's not your primary, then I don't know that there'd be any reason. But I'll think about that. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, Ben. That's a good question though. I like that. Smart questions. I have smart people. Kim, do you have to take any tests to switch your license to Florida? I did not. None of us had to when we switched. I think if it was expiring and if it's an expired out of state license, perhaps at that point you might have to do some kind of licensure testing. But if you're just changing it from state to state, as long as it's a valid driver's license and you're a driver in good standing, then I think it's just paperwork, as far as I understand. I'm always scared to answer questions because what if I'm wrong? Okay. Oh, I like this one, Julia. Do the Horizon West villages possess a sense of community or small town feel? So, all right, that's such a good question, Julia. Although I have to text you later because I have good news. So it really depends. So the Horizon West area, when Horizon West was conceived, when the whole idea of it was to be the largest master planned community in the United States, and all of these multiple villages, you'll know we've said it before, none of them are allowed to be gated. That is part of the design of the area. And part of that is kind of leading to your question, which is that they wanted everything to feel open and accessible. They didn't want things to feel standoffish. They wanted people to be able to kind of enjoy and explore and not have everything gated and chopped up. So even though the villages are kind of compartmentalized, they're still open, kind of, and connected. As far as the small town feel, I think that you really get that when you go to Hamlin, when you go to the shopping area and you go to like Filigree Coffee House, and if you go to Home State Brewing, if you go to the French Cafe, if you go to Paris. What is it, Paris Baguette, or the pastry place? Oh my gosh, that was so good. All of those types of places, and the Flamingo Crossings. Flamingo Crossings is probably where you're going to get a little bit of the tourist feel, because it is nestled right there at that back entrance to Disney, and there's so many hotels around it. So going there to hang out feels a little bit more tourist-y, but it also can feel like, it's your hometown, because, I love, for instance, I love the barbecue over there. And, so every time I go, and we went in the other day, excuse me, and the guy at the cash register, he goes, I think you guys are regulars. So that's kind of nice. So, right. It's like, they don't know who we are, and we don't know who he is, but he's seen us go there enough to get barbecue that, even though there's a bunch of tourists around, they recognized our faces and realized, okay, well, they must live here and they're regulars. So you kind of get a little bit of both, I think, but definitely when you're walking around Hamlin and you're going to restaurants, for sure, I think that definitely feels a little bit more small town. Good question though. I like it. Okay. So let me switch over real quick. We're going to do another little segment. We're going to do what I'm watching, and then we're going to do Zillow, and then don't forget questions, right? Okay, so this is just fun and quirky. I don't know how practical it is, but it is super fun. So I just started watching. There's only 8 episodes. I zoomed through them because they're very quick, easy to watch. They're not long. This is called Hack My Home. And I actually, to be honest, I thought of you when I chose to watch this, because I wanted, this definitely ties in with real estate and homes, right? Hack My Home. So these 4 people, like, she went to MIT. The one guy is kind of an innovator. One guy is an interior designer. One of them is in construction. So again, you've got the whole kind of the mix of their talents and visual artistic ideas. And so they take these homes, and I believe this whole series was done in Atlanta, Georgia, so not too far from us here in Florida. And they took each of these families with challenging homes where they weren't going to move, right? It wasn't that they were looking for a new home. So it's not like it's house hunters or anything. They were like, we need to have this home function better for us, for our challenges. One couple had quadruplets and another little girl. So they all of a sudden had a family of 7, and they needed to fix the space and make it function. So basically what they're doing is they're coming up with really innovative ideas. Like in one of I think the first episode is a sliding wall that basically creates a pocket office for the husband, who I think is a therapist. So he needed a quiet, private place for work. Um, and in fact, I think he's the one with the quadruplets. But but yeah, so it's really cool. So it's a different spin on not just so much interior design. So it's not so much about how we're going to interior design your home, although that is an element of it. It's really about how engineering wise we can create some really fun things that either fall from the ceiling or come up from the counter or slide in these little magical walls, how they are maximizing the space and creating those little zones. So it's a fun, easy watch. This is the one I say, make yourself a sandwich, grab some chips, grab a glass of water or Diet Coke, and just sit and watch it because it's kind of fun and easy. Hey, buddy. Dawson just woke up. All right, so so a quick question here. This is a good one. Do you think that they will ever stop building apartments in Horizon West? Boy, I hope so. We need the housing. We need the more affordable housing. But in that case, that's rent, and I think if you ask everyone that lives here, we would all say yes. We wish they would stop. And it probably will at some point. There's just a tremendous amount of growth here happening right now, and so I think that with all of the massive apartment complexes that are being built and that are kind of presenting themselves here in the area, I don't really see it stopping right now. But there's already so many under construction that I'm hoping that is going to be enough to kind of give us a little bit of a pause so that we can focus on the single family homes. That's my hope. Okay, so Erica's telling me, hi, Amy, you've got some questions without a queue at the front, so check the whole list. I will, but then I have to stop talking to you. So then it's kind of like weird if I'm like not paying attention to you. So while we're doing that, let me go to the Zillow house because I don't think we did this one before. Okay, so this is not there. Okay, so this one doesn't exist. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Eric's probably cussing at me going, Amy, why did you push that button? We don't have a Zillow this week. My bad. So we'll look at that one next week. But anyway, yes, he did say we have some questions. So I'm going to scroll through real quick. I said, oh, my good mornings. You guys are all so sweet. We talked about this one. Eric's in Idaho. I'm still Zooming. We did vehicle laws. If we had so Eric, this wasn't a question. Well, it is a question. Actually, Eric said, if we have time for one live stream per week, would it be better when we do it in the afternoon or in the early evening? He's on Mountain Time right now, so he's thinking about the West Coast friends. That's a really good question. So if you happen to live in a different time zone, and if we were to do, one of those, what do you think time-wise? Like we all know, we have discussed Monday mornings at 9 is not a great time. But it's not a great time for algorithms. It's not a great time for numbers. And I don't care about that. I care about you. This is a good time for us. This is us starting off our week together. And so to me, I like our little Monday morning coffee times. But if we were to do something else more like live stream out and about, like if we did something at dinner time, do you think that would be good? So go ahead while I'm continuing to scroll. Let me know what you have a preference. Let me see. Oh, wait. Ben says happy 7-Eleven day tomorrow. Don't forget to grab your free Slurpee. Is that true? Oh my goodness. So yes, everyone go get Slurpees. Carly Hess. Okay. So Carly, love a massive 2-story home moment. I bet you do, because perhaps hers is one of those that's going to be coming on the market. You never know. You have to stay tuned for that one. Yep. All right. So I'm going to keep zooming. We talked about the 55 plus communities near Disney. We talked about driver's licenses. I know. See, this is why I don't like to do this. This is why we need to just have it. Eric, if you see the questions you actually wanted me to. Oh, yes. Elizabeth said Adam's new pup's name is Capone. Yes, we talked about Dr. Chrisman when they were asking about the vet, and I told you Dr. Dr. Chrisman in New Jersey, the Dachshunds. Their new one is Capone. That's right, because they're all C names. They're super, super cute. Thank you, Elizabeth. I knew I was going to mess that up. Wow. Kim says, vets here charge by the pound. You should see the bills for a 200-pound dog. Is that true? Like they really do that? Can you do that? That's weird. That's really weird. I mean, that would be scary because I mean that is weight discrimination, folks. That's not nice. Okay. Do, 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 do. Okay, so Ronald Turner, can you explain how Florida real estate taxes are computed? I think when people are looking at the current tax bill on a property, they believe this is what they will be paying. That actually is a good question. Okay, so Ronald, first of all, I will tell you what I know. So our property taxes are based on the assessed value of the home, not the appraised value home. And people need to understand that there is a difference between appraisals and assessments. The assessment is done by the county and ultimately is going to give you a valuation of the rebuild ability cost relative to what it would cost to rebuild the home. The appraised value is what it's worth with all of the other exterior components, community, things like that. So two different things, right? So the appraised value is going to be lower than your assessed value is going to be lower than your appraised value. One would hope. So your assessed value is what your taxes are going to be based on. We pay our taxes in arrears here. So in October is when you get the initial statement. And if you are escrowing in your property taxes with your mortgage, then you don't have to worry about anything other than just following up and making sure that those did get paid. But every October, we escrow our taxes and into the mortgage. And we, in October, we get a statement that says your property tax is blah, blah, blah. If you pay it now, you get this discount. This is not a bill, right? And then it gets paid. If we don't pay it in October, because it's not due until December, but if you do it in October, you get a little discount. If you don't pay it in October, you get another statement in November. It says, property taxes, blah, blah, blah. This is not a bill. So if you pay it then, you still get a little bit of a discount, but not as much as if you'd paid it in October. And then in December is when it's actually due. So again, if you escrow that into your mortgage, then those taxes are going to be paid immediately. But yes, in answer to your question, and this is really important because we have such an abundance of new construction. Remember, your property taxes are based on the property. And there's also unimproved land. So let's just say you're building a home, okay? And you close on your home in the middle of the year. Let's just say you closed on it June 30th, right? So for the year, from that January to December year, that calendar year, half of the year, January through June, the taxes were on the unimproved land or the vacant property, so to speak, right? So the unimproved land. Now your home is completed in June. That property is complete. You have the CO, which is the certificate of occupancy, and that means that the county now says it is improved property. So from June through December, now your property is taxed on that fully improved value. So your taxes for that first year are going to be less than they will be for the next year because half of the year it was only taxed on the unimproved land and half of the year it was taxed on the improved land. So you have to be careful with new construction. When you look at something. So if you're looking at a home, including mine, by the way, I have listings, right? I will have listings that are going to be going active and it's going to show reflected in public records that their property taxes were a few $100s. That's not true. Not true at all. For next year, it's just that because until they bought it and until they closed on it, it was taxed on the unimproved thing. I hope that helps, Ronald, but that is a really good question because it is important to kind of figure that out. Now, if you do have a realtor helping you when it comes to resale homes, and I mean resale that are like a year, 2, 3 years old or more, then those taxes are reflected in that information. Those are public records. All of that is public records. You should be able to access that very, very easily, and those numbers are going to be far more in line than it would be if you purchased a new construction home or a home that is a year old where the first year's taxes could be a bit wonky. It's an excellent question, and I hope that helped. I don't know if that was the exact answer you were looking for, but okay, so Jay, do you have any updates on when the models will be open at Toll Brothers, Harvest at Ovation? Did they resume construction there? We actually drove through there not too long ago. There's a lot of activity happening there. Yes, hallelujah. So not sure exactly when they are going to open, but actually on my list today is to reach out to Diane, who is my contact over there with Toll Brothers, to get some info on when those might be open. We talk about this a lot when people ask us. So we plan on videoing the models, but I always ask permission. Not every realtor asks permission. If you don't know me by now, I'm a rule follower. I'm honest. I'm transparent, and I have great relationships with builders, but there are still some corporate policies where there are some builders that really don't want people to come in and video. Candidly, I think that has changed over the years now that it is so many people do it. But when I first started doing it, there really weren't people doing it, like not the way that I do it now. And now it's kind of, oh yeah, it's a no-brainer. You have to have a YouTube channel and you have to go, video these homes. So I think that some of the corporate policy has changed over the years, but there are a few builders, Toll Brothers was one of them, that was a little bit pickier when it came to having people come in and video their models. But at any rate, hopefully they will be up. And as soon as they are, if I get permission, I will be in there to videotape them. But yes, definitely some more activity happening over there for sure. Okay, Allie said the invisible home. Yes, that was the new Zillow home is invisible, everyone. And it was only like $549,000. Also, Eric he's fussing at me. Do you remember when we talked about the fact that we didn't have a Zillow this week? Also, I don't curse at you. I'm sorry, honey. I was just trying to go through all my things. Okay. We got that question. I think I got all of those questions. I think I did. All right. So real quick, if you have another question, let me know and then put a Q in front of it so I can find it easier. Other than that, I think I have answered everything. And I think I've gone over all of my notes. I do want to mention one thing. Oh, no, I don't. I know what I wanted to go through. I know a secret. Oh, this is good. Don't go away yet. Don't get up. Don't put down your coffee. Watch this part. We have some inside scoop of a beautiful home that has not officially canceled. And the reason they can't officially say it's canceled is because they have to do their due diligence legally, right? The builder has to, they speak with the buyer. They try to make things work. When things can't work, they have to give them the official default notice. It takes about a week for all of that paperwork to clear. Right. And then once everything is kind of signed, sealed, and delivered, at that time, and only at that time, can they officially publicly advertise it back on the MLS or back on their website that a quick move-in is available.
And real quick, just to touch on the timeline, and I just heard this because I overheard a conversation with you with the sales manager yesterday. So they have to give them notice of basically saying, get your self lined up to do this.
Correct.
And they give them 7 days to say...
Right. They give them that 7-day due diligence to make sure that they, one last ditch effort, one Hail Mary. Yep. And if they can't make it happen, then everything, it's going to be signed off on and it will officially cancel. Now, here's the detriment to a buyer. Also, potentially a good thing for another buyer that might be out there. So, let's just use a specific example that is happening right now. I'm not going to give you too much information on it. You'll have to call me because I can't say anything. But in this particular situation, there is a home that is going to come back on the market in a couple of weeks. I know how much those buyers paid for the home. They were not my clients when they purchased it.
They paid yet. But
the builder has reached out to me to tell me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but not many people probably know.
You always get the first call.
I get some good inside scoop. They say that there is a specific floor plan. I have all the information, the home site, the community, and I have the pricing. And that's key, guys. Because if within the next 2 weeks, this private little inner circle of knowledge, if we can slide another buyer in, if I have another buyer that is potentially interested in sliding into that contract, they will sell it at the original contracted price. Okay, so this is really, really, really important. So that little clip was from yesterday's Sunday drive, and this is huge. So if you have any interest in 55 plus, bear with me for about 5 minutes because I'm going to talk about this and then I'm going to let you guys go because it's after 10. Surprising, I could talk this long without Eric being here. Okay, so this is truly, truly, truly important. So what we were talking about was in a 55 plus community in Del Webb Oasis, there is an inside scoop little thing happening where there is a specific home. Again, not my buyers originally when they contracted. They are getting ready to cancel the contract. It cannot be publicly advertised as far as the specifics and the details and all of the pricing and all of that because it technically the other people are still under contract with it. But they are about to basically default on their contract. They are not going to be able to qualify for the financing. For whatever their reasons are, that is going to cancel. The builder is doing their due diligence to give them that week of due diligence to get things, to either have a Hail Mary and get this thing move into the finish line or they're going to have to officially cancel. If during that time, because I know about it, if we find someone who's like, you know what, that's the perfect house for me. Yeah, I'll, that sounds perfect. Then we get them all the information. If they are prepped and ready, pre-approved or cash buyers, where we can say, okay, it cancels, boom, you're contracted without delay, they will offer that home at that same price. If no one purchases it, because again, they are not advertising this. So it's really just a little secret that we know. And of course, the site agents know it too. So they're also actively trying to find somebody to slide into this position. But if nobody does, right? If the due diligence time period passes, nobody has slid into that contract, and then it goes on the market officially on their website and on the MLS, it's going to be listed over $100,000 more, like probably a lot more, because at the moment it's, I'm just going to throw a number out there. At the moment, it's around an 800 mark. When it goes back on the market, it's going to be like a 950 mark. Yes, I know you're like, how does that happen? I'll tell you how that happens, but you have to call me at 407-848-8042. By the way, that's not my phone number. Eric, you put the wrong phone number up there, love. 407-848. What? That's not my phone number. Anyway, that's important though to note. That if you have a 55 plus, if you are interested in that, this could be a fantastic opportunity, because literally a day could cost you $100,000 to $150,000 for the exact same home, the exact same opportunity. The only caveat is that you have to act fast on this one. You have to go, yes, I want it, slide me in, I want it, and then you close on the home with immediate equity, because there's going to be other homes around you that are already listed way, way, way higher. So that is the inside scoop. That is a diggity dinger of a fantastic opportunity. If that's something that kind of meets your criteria, definitely give me a call at 757-848-8042. I'm not sure why. I don't know that I've ever noticed that number was wrong, but at any rate, let me see if I can put my little wrap up coming up here too. But remember, 757, geez, no one knows our phone number, 407-848-8042. Okay, maybe I should go back to the coffee. I don't know. I got both things of caffeine happening. I don't think either one are working. All right, guys, I need to get my cat to the vet, and I need to go do a pre-drywall walkthrough for some clients and a whole host of other things. So have a wonderful day, guys. As always, please stay safe, stay well. Remember that we love you, and happy house hunting. Woo, I think I did it. Did I do it? I haven't done it yet. I have to close it. Okay, bye, guys.